that was 315, just did 2 reps. Usually I don't wear a belt when I do 315 when I'm warming up. Sometimes if I'm feeling pretty sore, I do. But most of the time I wait till I get to 365 to put a belt on. So here's 365, I'm working up to 460 today. Alright, so looking back on that, it felt really heavy, honestly. It felt heavier than what it looked. It looked like it went up decently fast, but I didn't think I was going to have to get fired up for these sets, but I'm definitely going to have to. I think part of it was just because the past few nights I've been going to sleep really late, like 2, 3 a.m., and then I just naturally wake up at like 9:30, so I haven't been getting ideal amount of sleep. But I'm just gonna have to push through it, and I'm using the liquid chalk just to give me a little hand on these slippery bars. They're not the ones with good knurling on them, but let's get these next 2 sets. Man, that sucked. Alright guys, so I filmed the entire rest of the workout. I just filmed 1 set of each exercise, and I'm gonna really not even talk about the workout at all. I want to talk about protein intake, because I know a lot of people think they need to be consuming a lot more than what they really need to be, and I just want to clear some things up about like the research that's out there and what's actually recommended by experts and people in the nutrition field, and not people who are just bodybuilders that are promoting their products. Alright, so first, to start off with the basics, the RDA, which is the recommended dietary allowance for protein, is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight, not per pound, per kilogram. And this recommendation is generally just for individuals who are sedentary and that are healthy. If you have some kind of condition, you might need more protein, or if you experience like a severe burn or recovering from a sickness, you might need more, as well as if you are pregnant, you require a little more protein than just like a healthy, normal individual. So like I said, this is for a sedentary individual, and this is the minimum amount that is shown to be enough for about 97% of the population in that group. So if you're somebody who's trying to build muscle, or if you're cutting weight and trying to keep the muscle that you built on and not lose it, you might require a little more protein. So I actually looked at 2 studies that were comparing different protein intakes and how much lean body mass people were gaining. So the first one, they had 2 groups that had a high protein group, 4.4 grams per kilogram of body weight, which is a lot of protein. That would be like me, somebody who is around 185 pounds, consuming 370 grams of protein per day, which is just ridiculous. And then there was another group that was just told to maintain their usual diet, and most people get more than the minimum amount of protein per day anyway without even trying to go over. It's just kind of natural the way most people in America eat. They just generally eat more protein than what the minimum amount is. Sorry. Anyways, after 8 weeks, there were no differences between both of the groups in body weight, fat-free mass, which is lean body mass, even fat mass, and body fat percentage. And it's pretty interesting because the higher protein group was actually eating about 800 more calories than the regular protein group, and that would put them in prime position to build muscle because they're eating more calories. So they're more likely to be eating more calories than they burn, which we know is important to build extra muscle. To build more tissue on your body, you need to do that. So even after consuming those extra calories, they still they didn't have a higher lean body mass gain than the regular protein group. I also found another study that looked at college strength and power athletes, and they had 3 groups, a 1 to 1.4 grams per kilogram, a 1.6 to 1.8 grams per kilogram, and then a greater than 2.0 grams per kilogram group of protein per day. And between those 3 groups, they didn't find any differences either after about 12 weeks in like lean body mass and body fat percentage as well. So then I wanted to find a couple studies that dealt with people trying to lose weight but trying to retain as much muscle instead of trying to gain muscle. And I found one where there was a group that consumed 1 gram per kilogram and then another group that consumed 2.3 grams per kilogram. And after just 2 weeks of them consuming about 60% of their maintenance calories, the lower protein group lost significantly more muscle mass than the higher protein group did. So then I found another study dealing with the same thing, but these were non-competitive bodybuilders, and one group consumed 0.8 grams per kilogram, so equal to the RDA, and then the other group consumed 1.6 grams per kilogram of body weight. So after just 1 week, the lower protein group did lose significantly more muscle mass than the higher protein group. So by just looking at these studies, just these 4, it looks like when you're trying to gain muscle mass, you require a little less protein. You can get away with just eating about 1.1 to roughly like 1.7 grams, and if you go over than that, it doesn't make much of a difference. But when you're trying to lose fat and retain muscle mass, it seems to be that you require a little more protein, up to maybe 2 grams per kilogram of body weight, and doing just like 1 gram per kilogram of body weight might not be enough to retain as much muscle as possible. And the International Society of Sports Nutrition actually recommends 0.8 to 1 gram for a general fitness program. Athletes with moderate amounts of intense training, 1 to 1.5 gram per kilogram, and then athletes with high volume intense training, 1.5 to 2 grams per kilogram. So for me personally, when I'm trying to put on weight and I'm bulking, I'll aim for roughly 130 grams of protein at least, which would be above 1.5 grams per kilogram, and then when I'm cutting, I'll aim for the higher end, so about 2 grams per kilogram, which for me, I'm roughly 185 pounds, that would be about 170 grams of protein per day. So you don't need these crazy amounts of protein that you see a lot of these bodybuilders recommend or eat. They might eat like 2 grams per pound of body weight, which is just insane, and I think a lot of it has to do with them being sponsored by different supplement companies that sell protein powder, because if you think you need to eat that much, it's going to be really hard to get that much just from food. So what do you have to do? You have to go buy protein powders to supplement your diet with in order to hit that amount of protein, which you really don't even need. So I think that's part of it. And another reason is that people who are on steroids, which most of these big famous bodybuilders are, they can utilize more protein in their body and more of the protein that they're consuming. So that's another reason, obviously, if you can utilize more, you're going to be eating more. So that's why you see these, for example, I know The Rock, I guarantee he's taking steroids, and I've seen pictures of his so-called diet, and he's eating like 300 grams of protein per day. So just unrealistic expectations and unrealistic diets that people who aren't natural are taking are getting people who are natural to think that that will work for them, which it won't. So that's my take on protein. Hope you liked the video. Let me know if you have any questions or any other topics you'd want me to talk about. And don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.